Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome into the video. So in this one, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on whether I think the stock market bottomed this past week, or if there is more downside to come. Is this another fake out rally, or is this the bottom and we move up from here? We're going to be doing some technical analysis on the major indexes to see what type of different scenarios could play out from here, and whether if we have bottomed or not. If not, what to watch out for the fake out back down. And then we're going to be going over 7 different stocks, some that are showing a ton of strength, likely market leaders to come if this is the bottom, and some stocks that are lagging others with big moves likely to come in the coming weeks. We'll be going over the technical analysis on those. Alright, so getting into it, first off, taking a look at the SPY, which is an ETF that tracks the S&P 500. It has been setting up in this falling wedge formation since the beginning of January, and this week it broke out of the downtrend, a very bullish look for this reversal to play out further. On Friday, it also established the first higher high of the downtrend that has been stuck in since early January. A downtrend, of course, is a pattern with lower highs and lower lows. So if this higher high holds and this does not turn into a fake out, this can be the start of a trend reversal if it plays out right from here. There was also a death cross that played out this past week. A death cross is when the 50-day moving average crosses below the 200-day moving average, and is usually a bearish technical signal. By the way, on my chart, the 50-day moving average is in the gray and the 200-day moving average is in the pink. So one thing that's really interesting though is that back during the 2020 crash, when the death cross happened, the 50 crossed below the 200, it ended up marking the market bottom. This past week when it happened, it also has marked the short-term bottom. This could be a coincidence, or it could be a signal of pattern repeating, something that happens a lot more than you'd think with stocks, and this certainly could be the bottom of this correction in my opinion. The SPY also reclaimed and closed above the 50-day moving average for the first time since January 12th. It was trading below the 50-day for about 3 months, and is also setting up for a test of the 200-day moving average next, which is currently sitting about $446 per share on the SPY, which is a big spot to watch that likely acts as strong resistance in the coming week. So this upcoming week, what you want to see now is for a higher low to be established. There was close to an 8% move on the S&P from weekly lows to weekly highs. It is now pretty overbought on the 4-hour chart, as we can see on the RSI. It likely now needs to pull back or some consolidation to cool off the RSI, and that's what I personally expect to happen towards the beginning of this week. And that pullback will be a buying opportunity for those who are looking to add to their positions, as long as the move holds for more upside. I can see something like this playing out this week, a pullback and retest of the wedge as new support before bouncing and continuation of this uptrend. Now those are the bullish scenarios. Let's talk about what could happen for this to be a fake out and for the market to sell back off, resulting in a more downside. False breakouts can be dangerous and violent sells back down. What bulls do not want to see is a pullback where the top of the wedge does not act as support. This will be indicated and triggered with a break and hold below the 435 level. So you really want to see the SPY hold above 435, no lower than that. So overall, my personal thoughts is that I do think that the market bottomed this past week, but I also still think that it's smart to stay cautious here. We're still in a very dangerous spot macroeconomic wise, and it does feel like the market is pricing in a pretty high probability of a Russia-Ukraine peace deal after all the headlines this past week caused a lot of excitement in the market for those who were paying attention. If that situation in Ukraine escalates more, God forbid anything like that Ukraine president Zelensky getting assassinated or anything like that, but those are scenarios that you have to take into account. And if that situation does escalate more, it's definitely a dangerous catalyst that could send the market back down. So make sure to be aware of those risks. And also, we've had quite a few different rallies during this downtrend. This one does feel different to me though. This is the first higher high of the downtrend like we were just looking at on the technical side. And also just a different feel. You see growth stocks, small caps, and international stocks all bouncing big in a big way with non-stop buying pressure. Something that feels more than just shorts covering. Feels like a ton of buying pressure is there as well. There's been a lot of cash on the sidelines. Now that that cash is starting to get deployed in the market, this is a great look for a further reversal in my opinion. So for all those reasons, I do think that it's likely that the market bottom is in, but I don't think it's going to be an easy ride up from here. I think we're going to see a lot of volatility, and I don't think we're going to be seeing new all-time highs anytime soon in the broad market, just because there's so many issues going on. Inflation through the roof, Russia and Ukraine tensions still as high as ever, so there's plenty of risk still in this market, but I personally really like the risk reward of upside versus downside. Alright, so now taking a look at some individual stocks that look very attractive at current prices. We're going to be talking about some that are showing some relative strength that are likely market leaders to come with strong momentum, and also some that are lagging others with big moves yet to come that I personally think has a good chance of coming in the coming weeks. So some of the names that have had a ton of dip buy interest this past week are Facebook/Meta Platforms, ticker symbol FB, a strong downtrend breakout this past week and looking like the reversal is underway. Also PayPal, ticker symbol PYPL, another strong downtrend break and tons of buying pressure off those lows. Both of those are still trading for crazy cheap multiples as well. And if this market bounce does hold, I think there is so much more upside left in those two names. Two more stocks that were market leaders before the crash and based on recent price action likely end up being market leaders once again are Tesla, ticker symbol TSLA, and Nvidia, ticker symbol NVDA. Huge moves being made out of both of these stocks' downtrends. These certainly aren't the cheapest valuations, but when buying interest comes in as much as these two have seen this past week, pullbacks from here could give strong entries for more upside as long as they hold above the downtrend. Those two are looking like likely market leaders for weeks and months to come. Though there is the risk with those two if the market does end up selling back off, they will likely see more downside than other stocks because their valuations are so expensive than others at current prices. Now talking about some that haven't seen moves too large yet and could see play out in the coming weeks is first up AMD. This one had a triple bottom off $100 key support and is now setting up for a breakout of the downtrend, which could be an explosive move and likely will be. If this market bounce holds, it's just a matter of time before AMD makes this breakout as well and follows others. AMD is a stock that can move very quickly, could be a great swing trade for those interested in that. Also Coinbase, ticker symbol COIN, still sitting at super cheap prices and multiples below $200 per share. With crypto showing a ton of recent strength, this one could certainly have a much larger bounce in store. Coinbase, one more thing, is also expected to launch their NFT marketplace very soon, which is likely to act as a massive catalyst for the stock. Last one, Pinterest, ticker symbol PINS. This one recently broke out of the downtrend, bounced off the retest of the trend line as new support, and is now seeing a strong bounce, looking like it's going to break out of its recent range. This one trades for very cheap multiples as well, with the forward price to earnings ratio below 20. In my opinion, this one likely has a much larger move in store in the coming weeks, as long as the broad market continues to show strength. Stocks that are still heavily beat down, like Pinterest, they're going to be following the other stocks. We're going to be seeing all types of bounces in this market as long as this is not a fake out rally, which is still a risk to be aware of. I personally love the risk reward though at these levels for stocks all around the market. Though like I've been saying, I'm still on my toes just in case this does turn into a fake out rally. So that's my thoughts on the overall broad market, what I think is going to happen next, and just some stocks that I'm watching as swing trade candidates that I see more upside to come in the coming weeks. Like I was talking about earlier, I do think the market needs a pullback after this massive move. So maybe 1 to 2 days of pullbacks early this week. That could be a great buying opportunity for a retest, balance off those recent breakouts, and then see much more upside after that. I think that'd be the best case scenario for swing traders to be adding during that dip. Though make sure to stay on your toes for anybody buying. This market has had a lot of fake out moves. Could this be another fake out rally? That is a possibility you need to be ready for and be aware of. So I hope y'all enjoyed and hope I've provided some value to you. If so, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate that. Also, anybody interested in joining the private Discord chat, that's the first link down in the description. You get trade alerts, buy and sell alerts from me anytime I make a move. I answer any questions you have, and I also send nightly watch lists for trade ideas the next day. That's the first link down in the description. And I hope everybody made some good money on the bounce this past week. Let's see if we can continue in the coming weeks. Catch you all next week. Peace out.